I'll use the mic for today. So what I'm going to do today, I think we'll just start, if that's okay, is something I've never done before, and so I'm pretty confident nobody in this room has seen this before either. I'm going to attempt to get someone random from the audience, and we're going to get them onto the first page of Google. How does that sound? So just before I start, actually, a wee show of hands. I mean, I've got 40 minutes to do this, right? So I'm really pushing myself to do something. I'm going to explain to you what we're doing and do it at the same time. Hence the reason I managed to drag Catherine in. Literally, we met 10 days ago. We met 10 days ago for the first time. So she's had a little bit of training from me. She's nervous sitting in the corner here. And when I went to see her last night, she hadn't done a damn thing since 10 days ago. So, is that true? Website's the front page of Google, she says. So she hadn't done a damn thing because she was scared. So we did it again last night and we sorted it again. First page of Google again. So quite exciting. So just give me a little bit of feedback actually, a wee show of hands. How many people here in the room actually have a website just now? Fantastic, it's exactly what I expected. You're in the right place. How many people are on the first page of Google right now? 1, 2, maybe 3-ish. Just a show of hands, how many people in the room are SEO or website design specialists, experts? I always find that fascinating. I always invite all these guys along, and in my experience, I've talked around the world, and I've only ever had one guy who admits to being a website or SEO specialist, and he comes to everything I do now. Which I think is, I love going to listen to other people because there's always something else to learn. And my hallucination, rightly or wrongly, is that they all think they know better, and that's why they're not here. Maybe. So I often say, like, I hate calling myself an expert because it's inevitable that someone knows more than me on something. Okay, so, but what I can do is I can prove to you, okay, we can make this happen. We're going to make it happen today in 40 minutes. Wouldn't that be amazing? I mean, how many people have ever even imagined that you can get your website in the first page of Google within 40 minutes? It's just not possible, is it? The SEO guys tell you it's not possible. They tell you, we'll charge you £200 a month or whatever and expect something to happen in 6 months or so. Am I right? Is anybody paying to be SEO'd or anything like that just now? Kind of, okay. That's jargon, sorry, for those that don't understand. SEO is Search Engine Optimisation, okay? And so I might use that a few times, I apologise. So what are you paying, roughly? 50 quid a month, okay. Barter, okay, so that's kind of the bottom end of the pricing structure, all right. So wouldn't it be cool if you could just like pay that once, or even pay 6 times that once, and that'll be it? You don't think I can? Okay. Good. Sounds like a challenge. Love a challenge. Okay, good. Okay, fine. Well, let's have a look at that as well, shall we? Actually, just out of interest, how many people in the room have a mobile phone, a smartphone, I should say, in their hands? Most people, right? So whilst I'm talking, you can check me out, right? So you can actually go onto Google right now, or go into any web browser as I'm talking. And I just checked this last night, actually, so I don't even know how old these things are. But if you just type in the keywords, first page ranking Edinburgh, all right, and see who's there. Okay, yeah, I can't cheat. Just listen to me, okay? Because we're coming to that. So first page ranking Edinburgh. Okay, so what she's just highlighted there is really important as well, because if I'm trying to master the keyword golf, how many websites am I going to come up against, do you think? Millions, more than millions, eh? Yeah? And so there are actually, in my wee advert for this, I did say, there are 2 things that everybody is searching on the internet for. Can anybody tell me? Free, thank you, Pat. Oh, yeah, free. What else? Sex. Take the microphone over there. Free sex. Information is the word I'm looking for, okay? So that's what most people are looking for when they go on the internet, yeah? Onto a web browser. Free information. Okay, guess what? There are millions of web pages out there offering free information. Am I right? So, is that going to put any money in your bank account? No, of course not. So you'd be totally wasting your time putting more free information on the internet. Does that make sense? So there are 3 types, you might want to make a note of this, there are 3 types of web browser, person browsing the internet. And take a wee note, because this is really, really important. Okay, 3 types. Type number 1, what most people are looking for, they're actually looking for free information. So that type, if you like, is research. Type number 2 is those that actually have done the research. What stage are they at now, guys? Audience participation time. They know what they're looking for, yeah. And then, kind of, selection, yeah. Okay, so the keyword I use for that is comparison. Okay, so they've already done some research, now they're comparing. So I usually pull my camera out at this stage, but just to prove a point, I've got a really, really nice camera. It's the only camera I know that can do live streaming and all the rest of it. And I did some research on it, and then once I decided what I wanted, come in, have a seat. Once I decided what I wanted a camera that had really good optical lens. I wanted a camera that had Wi-Fi capabilities. This particular one's got it's basically a tablet. It's an Android tablet thing. And then I start to compare what other options are there. Yeah. So I might be looking for Nikon, Canon, Samsung, whatever it might be, Sony, etc. Yeah. You with me? So then I'm comparing. Price is one factor, and technical spec. Does that make sense? So you think about your websites, you may have that information in your site, but is that going to put money in your account? No. So we've gone through 2 phases. We've got the researchers on the internet, we've got those that are comparing. What stage do they get to finally when they're ready to buy? Confidence, yeah. The next stage, the third one, is buyers, really. Okay, so by the time, let's say in my particular camera, it's Samsung GX-100 GC or something like that. Yeah? So by the time I've done my research and I've done my comparison, by the time I type in that particular model number, do you think I've got my credit card in my hand? Absolutely. I want to find who's got the best deal for me now. I want it today. Does that make sense? Yeah? So start thinking about your own websites. I want you to make money out of this. All right? There's no point in just having a web presence. Because today we're in 2014, we've evolved. Right? We want to have buyers. How do we get buyers? We give them the keywords that they were looking for. Does that make sense, guys? So start thinking about your own website, and I probably guarantee you 90+% of people in the room are just using generic keywords. Yeah? So I was going to have a wee volunteer, but I spotted Chris. Is that right? I had a chat with Chris just earlier because he was recording Eric's thing. So, Chris, do you mind if I use you as a volunteer? Is that we haven't met each other before today, right? No. So, is everybody happy if we use Chris as a volunteer? Good, Chris. Now I know your video work. Do you want to give us some more elaborate? Give us some keywords that you do for your business.
Sure thing. About my business.
Yeah. Here, you can have that.
Thank you. I don't really like using these because then I hear my own voice. So yeah, we are a film production company, and we work with other businesses advertising their products and services, and we help them boost their SEO by having video there. But we also advertise their product so that if people are looking for it, they can see either exactly what they do or what they sell.
So if I type in looking for video creation production experts, are you on the first page of Google?
I don't think so.
Right, but you teach SEO?
No, not yet.
Okay, thank goodness for that. Okay, just out of interest, can I just give you that back? So just out of interest, how many people actually did use their smartphones and checked out what I was talking about? Yeah, did you find me? Yeah, good, it works. Result. Okay, so as you said, that could change. But actually, if you do type that in, I think I checked last night, I was 7 times on the first page out of 10. which is pretty cool, right? So yeah, it can change over time, and it's not just what I used. Interestingly enough, Chris, is videos. That's why I chose you just now, because I knew you were a video guy, because you can do this. Okay, so when people are looking through a Google result, and you see an image of some description or a video, does that catch your attention? Yes, it does, right? And right now, it's the fastest and easiest way for everybody here in the room to get on the first page of Google. It has been for the last few years, in fairness. So, because Google purchased YouTube, didn't they? Yeah? So actually, the Google spiders are going through YouTube hundreds of times a second. There are millions of hours of YouTube video. Do you know the stats? How many are getting uploaded? It's just ridiculous, the amount of video minutes that are being uploaded to YouTube and being watched on YouTube and on their mobile phones and all the rest of it at any one time, and Facebook and so on and so forth. So, on that matter, by the way, I put my head in earlier because there was a girl talking about SEO, talking about social media, and I'm always interested, I always want to know what else I can learn. And one of the things she was talking about is get yourself seen on, get lots of likes and lots of followers. And I have to say, I've written guides on every aspect of social media. I own websites on all the aspects of social media. And what I have to say is, from January 2014, I think it's vanity. I nearly swore there. To have Facebook likes and Twitter followers is vanity. If you think about how many things that you liked, in inverted commas, in the last week versus how many things you actually purchased as a result, you'll know I'm talking. It's changed. The world has evolved, all right, and our social media has evolved. So now what we want to do is we want to find the keywords for our buyers. We want to make some money. We stop faffing about, and you'll swear again there, faffing about on social media. It's wasting time, by and large. Not always, okay. Does that make sense, guys, yeah? You with me so far? Any questions so far? So, come back to Chris. Chris, on keywords for your business, what would be a great keyword for your perfect customer to have typed in to find you? Video production, okay. So, video production is a bit like golf. It's so generic, there's probably millions of them in Hollywood for a start, probably a whole load in Prague, I don't know. There's probably loads of them around, right? I mean, I've got 3 high-quality cameras with me today. So, there's loads of us now think we could do video production. So, what would be even more specific for your business? I did put you on the spot. I didn't give you any warning. So, location. What would be a great location then for your perfect customer? Okay, Scotland's quite generic still, isn't it? Ayrshire. You do a lot in Ayrshire? Have you got a lot of competition in Ayrshire? Yeah? Okay, cool. And do you know how you compare with the competition in Ayrshire? You're talking about quality now, I'm talking about being found on the first page. You have no idea, okay, fair enough. Okay. Are any of them in Ayrshire by any chance paying to be found at the first page of the Google searches that you know of? Does anybody know if their competitors are paying to be at the top? Yeah, Google AdWords, yeah? So you do know that they are paying. It's quite cool because I'm going to show you how we can get there without paying. It's nice. Okay, so what I'm trying to weasel out of Chris here is exactly what I was talking about in my particular camera. By the time I got to the specific model, then there's a lot less competition. So you could say I'm cheating. However, I'm cheating, but I only want the buying customers. I only want those that have their credit cards in their hands. Does that make sense? I don't want people that are looking for free information about video production. So you want to be more specific on the perfect buyer. Does that make sense? So Chris, I'm going to come back to you again. What would be the perfect buying key phrase? You could use what we call a long tail, which is actually like 5 or 6 or more words. All right? And the more words that you use, the less competitors you've got. So people in the audience might think I'm cheating, but as I said, I don't want the generic golf or video production. I don't want those that look for free information. Does that make sense, guys? It might sound like I'm labouring on this, but it's because I am kind of cheating. I want to get you on the first page of Google today, right now. How does that sound? Okay, so So give me some more specifics then, Chris. How can I cheat, if you like, to get your perfect customer for you? Give me some ideas. Okay. So what's your if you look at your perfect customer, is it a corporate? Is it weddings? Is it events? And what does that mean? What does corporate actually mean? So you do business video intros for them, and what are you talking? 3-minute things, or? Okay. So to help other businesses to promote their businesses. So it's video production for corporate video promotions or something to that effect. Okay, this is me talking now. It shouldn't be my I don't want to put words in you. But anybody else got any ideas what Chris could be using? Business video promotions. That's good. It's more specific. Video promotions for businesses. Again, maybe putting in the word Ayrshire and or Scotland in there would help. Yeah. Any other ideas?
Online or business website.
Is it just online businesses, or are you doing a lot of offline traditional businesses?
It's mainly online.
It's mainly online. Is that your perfect target market? Okay, so online is probably a good word. So what about other phrases such as YouTube and so on? Do people look for that maybe? I don't know, I'm just asking. What about the quality of cameras? Do you use specific types of cameras that people might search for? I don't know.
If you do, yeah, we do have that advertised.
Do you do it as a team? Do you have like post creation, editing, etc.? Okay. So what I'm getting to here is pretty much what we all do, right? We all want to grab a bit of everything as much as we can. Has everybody signed this piece of paper, by the way? Yeah. Oh, it's still going on. Has everybody got a little card from me now as well? A piece of paper. Where have they stopped at? Has everyone got one? Good. So, what was my question? Keep going on. Good, thank you. So, what I'm trying to do here, Chris, is what we're all guilty of. We all want a bit of everything, right? But actually, what we've proven is that if you're prepared to niche down, then you become an expert in that niche, okay? So you're not an expert in photo editing, you're not an expert in hairdressing, right? So we want to be much, much more specific, okay? And the more specific you are, like if you're in a particular area in Ayrshire, for example, a particular town, then you've got a lot more chance of being found. Does that make sense? So could we, for example, put, I don't know, Troon or something to that effect, and maybe put a whole load of bigger towns in Ayrshire? Get me with geography now. What's the bigger towns in Ayrshire, Chris? Ayr, Kilmarnock, Dundonald, okay. And have you had business from those areas, specifically, yeah? Okay, so are you making some notes over here, my glamorous assistant? Good girl, thank you. She is working hard in the background, we don't know this, so that's deliberate. So, how are we doing for time? Okay, good. What I'm going to try and do is, I've spoken for about 20 minutes now, so I've got about 20 minutes left. And we're actually going to try and get it down to a specific keyword phrase that we want our perfect customer to be typing in to Google, and we want to be found for that phrase. Okay? If we can get other phrases as well, which is what you mentioned earlier, then that's fantastic. But the way I do it, and if you did use your smartphone when I started talking there, I do it by having more than one exposure. Okay, in that particular case, you probably saw at least 5 videos, I think. Okay, they weren't all of me. I think one actually was Catherine, and she didn't even know I'd done that. I just did that yesterday, and that was just her testimonial. Say again? Get arrested. Well, she did know I was pointing the camera at her in the first place, but I actually just SEO'd it and uploaded it yesterday. And sure enough, it was on the first page of Google. It was on the first page of Google for me, first page ranking, which was really cool. So, so that, in answer to the next question is, will I be found under different phrases, which was what you asked. The answer to that is just do something else. Just do another video, for example. So if you do more than one video, you can have it SEO'd for different phrases, right? And there are many, many ways of getting found on the first page of Google. So having your own website is one, but there are stacks of free places as well out there, such as WordPress or Weebly or Hotspot, Hub Pages, Wet Paint. There's loads of them. Okay, So there's loads of places that you can actually build a free website as well, and you could SEO that as well. So if you're really clever, you could actually be on the first page, you could dominate. And I've got stacks of proof of domination. All right. So I've often said this, don't just listen to someone talking, especially if they're selling SEO like you are, for example, go and check them out, see if they actually can walk the talk, prove it. Okay, and that's why I got you guys to do it, it's not me showing screenshots. You did it live. Okay, so we're going to do the same for you, Chris, today, right now. Now, just to confirm, are you on the first page of Google just now for any of these keywords we just said? Right, good. So if I do something right now, you'll know it was us that did it, right? It's like a magic trick, isn't it? That's what Eric did earlier. So, what would be the perfect keyword phrase for you today?
Video production for small businesses in Dundalk.
Okay, perfect. Are you happy with that? Did you write that down? Video production for small businesses in Dundalk, Ayrshire. 2014? Does that be fair as well? Because you're quite young, so how long have you been in the business? A year, right. So perfect. You're looking for people that are ready now, right? You don't want to be found 2009, whatever. Would that be fair to think that people might type that in as well? Would they type in commercial or anything like that? I mean, you said small businesses. Would they type in any keywords? So it would be like small businesses and commercial adverts? Okay. Advert creation. What have you got there, Catherine? So if we were quite a lot, what keyword phrase have you got there that makes sense in one sentence?
Video production for small businesses in Dundalk, Ayrshire, 2014.
Well, let's think about that just now. Okay, let's go for that. Okay, so I don't know how well this is going to go, and I'm putting my reputation on the line as well to see if we can do this. So what Catherine is going to do is get me to sign into my computer. Hold on. So you haven't done anything on the computer yet? Okay. Okay, so she hasn't even logged in yet. Okay, so I've been talking, it's actually my computer and it was signed out. So whatever we do now, I've got 20 minutes left, which is quite exciting. And nerve-wracking, I have to say. So, are you okay, honey? You know what you're doing? Good. Good girl. Oh, exciting. Okay, any questions from the audience then, whilst Catherine's working away? I hope so. I am doing it in a short space of time. Yes, unless you guys want to come back in 6 months and see how well I did. So yes, we're doing it now, today, live. Okay, so thank you. What she said is, am I going to go and check how many people search for that key phrase? So if you want to get anal, and you start doing analytics, yes, absolutely, please do your own analytics, all right? Because you do want to prove that people are actually searching for stuff before you want. And exactly, and what I actually teach, good time for me to advertise while Catherine's working, is next week actually. I'm hosting a one-day event next Wednesday, a week today, on the 11th, and it'll be on that small piece of paper that you've got there. I'm hosting a one-day event, which is actually a case study on making 1 million in 12 months. So 1 day, 1 million, 1 year. Okay, so it's the URL is abundancebychoice.com/111. Okay, so that's a case study. If anybody's interested, I'm doing that next week. And for the 2 days after that, I'm hosting an internet marketing 2-day event, and we'll be going into much more depth than what I'm doing today in 40 minutes. Okay, so I will be looking at exactly what she's saying there, and please, by all means, do be skeptical, because you know I don't control Google, so you know you go and check on your phone, etc., your computer when you get home. Okay, and sometimes it doesn't work because Google do have what they call a sandbox, so some people might know that. So sometimes it doesn't work, but most of the time, fingers crossed. I've never done this line before. Yes, sir.
So if you have a DVD, we are selling with nail extension courses for my wife. So we figure out what our potential client will be typing in when they are ready to buy.
Yep.
And then just Just optimize.
Yeah. So, in answer to what she was asking at the beginning, and you're referring to the same thing, it's almost a grey area, right? Because what you're asking about is how many people are actually searching for that. So in other words, you're being cynical that, yeah, there's no point in actually dominating if nobody's searching for it. And you're right. However, if we go to get the statistics on how many people are looking for Samsung digital camera, there's going to be significantly more than people looking for Samsung GC-100HF. Does that make sense? So you might go, well, it's not worth even trying to be on the first page of Samsung GC-100HF. Does that make sense? Because the analytics looks like nobody's searching for it, or very few people are searching for it. But what we discussed at the very beginning is actually, these are the ones that have the credit cards in their hands. These are the ones that are ready to buy. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah? So, in answer to your question as well, it's not just about how many people are really searching for it, it's about what are the buyer keywords.
Basically, like for the buyers. Yeah, so what's the key phrase for the buyers who are ready to purchase what you are selling?
Correct. So don't get so caught up in the analytics about, yeah, but there's nobody searching for it. Because actually, it doesn't really matter. Depends what you're selling, absolutely. I mean, I'm using digital camera as an example. I don't sell digital cameras. But by the time I was ready to purchase my digital camera, I'd done my research, I'd done my comparisons, and I knew exactly what model I wanted to buy. Does that make sense? So you're right, for many of you have been very generic, and video production is very generic, and I'm trying to say, don't try and compete in that massive puddle right now, because even if we're realistic about it, if you've got a client in Dundonald, for example, they're not just going to type in the two words video production. They're not. They want a professional team, preferably local, I would imagine. Because it's going to cost them a friggin' fortune to get someone to come from Hollywood. Does that make sense? Yeah? So it sounds like I'm cheating because I'm being more specific. But actually, if we think about Chris as an example, he does video production for mostly Ayrshire companies. He'll happily travel to anybody in Scotland, but let's be honest, you're going to charge them for it. Right? So the people that are in Dundonald are going to want someone local, most preferably, and they probably use that keyword phrase. Probably. Is that cool, guys, yeah? Any other questions?
Are you modifying his website?
No. Good question. Thank you. So, when it comes to search engine optimization, there are two different elements that we talk about mostly. Is on-page SEO, which is modifying his website, or modifying your own website. And there are so many clever things we could do with that. I could pick apart almost anybody's website. In fact, I invited you to put your own website domain down so I could actually point out what you could do to enhance your existing website. Okay, so that's on page. So, with that, if you look at the 80-20 rule, by and large, it's not a precise science, but approximately 80% of what Google is looking for is what we call the external links pointing to you. Okay, now Google have always wanted to be the best for keyword searches, results, yeah? So there's two things that Google are looking for. One is relevance, and the other is authority, okay? So if, for example, we type in video production, Ayrshire, there's no point in Google finding, well, we've got a surfboard specialist in Australia. I'm not looking for that, right? So Google want relevance, video production, and Ayrshire probably, and authority. So how does Chris prove that he's an authority in that area? Anybody? Other sites to link to them, you're spot on, which is what we call off-page SEO, okay, which answers your question as well. So you're absolutely spot on there. So the more sites that we can have pointing to Chris's site, the more Google are going to say, he must be an authority for that particular phrase. Now, the phrase the jargon for it is called anchor text. Okay, so if it's video production in Ayrshire, for example, that's great anchor text. So here's a question for the room. Should it be quality external links, or should it be quantity? Mixture of both. Thank you. Why?
Obviously, the more links you've got, it shows that there are more people in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Quality also gives you that.
Absolutely. Interestingly enough, if you were to type in the 2 words into a Google search, type these 2 words, click here, guess who comes up top? Not Google. B&Q? No. Not Microsoft. I'll give you the answer. The top answer for the top result for searching in Google for the keywords click here is adobe.com. Why? Because people say, get a free PDF reader, just click here on their websites. Yeah? Now here's the fascinating thing, I've actually checked this out. Go to adobe.com and look that nowhere on their website does it have these 2 words. Click here. Nowhere. So they're not even marketing that as their own keyword phrase. It's other people using that phrase with the hyperlink adobe.com, which proves the point that it's actually a lot to do with quantity. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah? But also quality is really key as well, because there's a massive factor to the algorithm. We're kind of cheating with part of it just now, but to get your website in the first page of Google, there's loads of factors involved in the algorithm, and they're always changing. Yes, sir? What do I mean by quality? Good question. So, Google have what they call page ranking from a 0 to a 10, and if you've just started out, if Chris just started last year, his page ranking is probably a 0 or a 1 out of 10, all right? And probably many people in the room, or probably nobody in the room above 4 out of 10. I'll take my hat off if you are above that. There are very, very few companies above 4 out of 10. So sites such as Facebook, for example, if Mr. Zuckerberg was to point to your website, that's now a 10 out of 10 as authority from Google, okay? For a long time, even Google themselves were only a 9 out of 10. So adobe.com is actually a 10 out of 10 as well. And there are a handful of sites now, 10 out of 10. And another way of getting a high quality link is if you could have an extension with .gov or .edu, because only a handful of people can actually point to your website that are entitled to. We can actually all do it, believe it or not. We could actually find a student, let's say Edinburgh. Every student in Edinburgh has an email address with .edu on the end. They all have the right to add articles and so on to their particular category of what they're studying. And if they were to write about our business with a hyperlink to our website, that will come from a 9 or 10 out of 10. So that's a high quality website. And we could all do that. We could ask a student to do something for us, or we could pay other people to do it. You can go into forums, you can go in all sorts of things like that. Does that make sense? Cool. Any other questions? Are we done?
I'm ready to publish.
Go for it. Do you want me to check first? 10 minutes, girlfriend. Okay, 10 minutes. Whoa. She's not really my girlfriend, by the way. That's just in case I get in trouble for that. In case her boyfriend's watching. Okay, so what else? Any other questions? It's a breeze. Okay, so good question. Am I right now trying to get external links? The answer is no. External links definitely helps, and especially lots of quantity, as we said, like click here, for example, and lots of quality, such as EDUs and .govs and so on. So especially if you're trying to get your own website on the top of Google, there's a lot of work to get involved in it, and that's why a lot of the SEO guys say, oh, it's going to take months, etc. And I'm not dissing them, because it does. Okay, so there's many answers, and what I'm trying to do right now, or rather, what I've already proven many times, and I'm trying to do it live, is the fastest way I know of getting on the first page of Google is actually via video. So what Catherine's done over there in the corner whilst I've been talking is she's created a nice little video for you, Chris. I hope you like it. And she's done it with your keyword phrase. Okay? And we're going to plug it into the projector, and we're going to go live on the internet, and fingers crossed a big drum roll, and see if it works. Okay? Which is quite exciting, isn't it? So, any other questions?
Is this what you're teaching on one of your courses?
Okay, thank you, Pat. So, next week, a week today, I'm doing a one-day case study. So we might be talking a little bit about this, but mostly we're not. So the one-day case study is not about this. It's actually looking at, honestly, any of us can actually make $1 million in 12 months with just one tool. I've spoken around the world on the internet platform. I know lots and lots of guys who make a lot of money online, and there are so many different ways of doing it. And what we're going to do next week is just look at one. But actually, I was speaking in Norwich just a couple of days ago to blow your mind with what else is possible. Okay, so that's the one-day event next week, and then I'm doing a 2-day internet marketing event, which is going to be following on in the back of that. And the 2-day event is actually mostly going to be talking about this, and you're going to learn how to do it, which is what Catherine's done. I've taught Catherine 10 days ago, actually, in fairness, and we literally just went over it last night, and she hadn't touched it since in the 10 days in between. So it's all fresh to her as well. So if she can do it, you can do it. And I love seeing that magic moment when you go, I did that. How cool is that? Darren, you did it. He's sitting quietly in the corner. You did that how long ago? 3 weeks ago? Okay. What was your results? Making progress. Okay, cool. So you were happy, obviously. You came along today. Have you got anything to say that I've not told the truth about, or anything like, or elaborate? Cool. The real deal. Good. Thank you, Darren. Are you happy? She's very happy. Can we plug it into the projector? Can we go live? Okay, do you want to plug it into the computer, into the projector here, and let's go live on the internet. Are we ready for a big drum roll, guys? Would this be amazing if we actually achieved this whilst I was talking? Would it be amazing? Come on, have you ever seen anything like this before? It's like a magic trick, but it's Google we're talking about. Okay, so, la. I haven't even seen what she's done either, so it's exciting. Switch the projector on. Okay, so. Okay, so if you want to check this on your mobile phone while we're talking, by the way, just to prove that I'm not cheating here. So go onto your smartphone and type this in. This is Chris's business. Okay. So type this into Google by all means on your or any search engine. What we've actually just used here is his free phrase: video production for small businesses in Dundonald. Okay. So we can see, in fact, there's only 7,500 results, which may not be enough for those that are going to be analytical about it. But what we've proven, literally, if anybody can see this, it says 5 minutes ago. And I never touched it. That's a magic trick, isn't it? That deserves a round of applause. That deserves you to go ballistic for my glamorous assistant in the corner. How does that feel for you? Woohoo! And we've done it for your business as well, yeah? A couple of times. Now, what's really fascinating is people are paying to be at the top of Google Ads. People are paying stacks of money to Google. This is no cheating. This is the top result. The top result. Let's see if I can go down a wee bit. Yeah, we want to see what she's done. Look, just have a quick scan down here. These are all the Google results. There's one with an image. What did I do? It was phenomenal. Princess Trust, where is that? Where is that? Where is the Princess Trust? You must have seen it a second ago. Where did you see Princess Trust? There was news.
Yeah, stop before.
I've gone past it again.
No, stop where you are.
Oh yeah, okay. Princess Trust, businessfinder.org. Hair and beauty salons in Dundonald. Red Book Productions is a video production company. Maybe one of your competitors, Chris. Okay, so yes, we're above the Princess Trust, and in fact we're above all of these because right at the very, 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 very top is Chris. Uploaded 5 minutes ago. How long is it? Well, at this moment in time, in my experience, they're all there still. And I just started doing this in 2009. 5 years so far, by the way. And there are many more things that we can do with this that we haven't touched, such as external links pointing towards even just that YouTube video. Yeah, this is a YouTube video. Do you want? Who said? Can we see it? Do you have one more question?
Actually, the thing is that so it was optimized for this key phrase.
Yep.
So if we have promotional video
Yep.
on YouTube now,
Yep.
so in order to have it on the first page on Google,
Yep.
we just need to go to YouTube and
Yep.
put in this key phrase.
Yep. Well, this is actually the web up here. The web. There, I mean, at the top here, which is what Catherine said a second ago, is we have more options, so we can look at maps and so on. So we look at the videos, for example, with Google. We can see it's right at the very top of the Google productions as well, and people are paying ads here as well. But it's much easier to dominate the videos than it is to actually dominate the web. And we just go back to the web. There we go. Bang. We're there. And this time now it's in 8 minutes because I just refreshed. Okay. So, yes. Yeah. Sure. I mean, I haven't tried it yet. I like to play with words. So let's just take out the superfluous words and refresh. Dun, 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 out of 12,500 results. Get in there! The only thing is, I want to, you're right. I agree. That's what we were talked about. I'm cheating, inverted commas. Yeah, if that's what you want to say. But absolutely, the next one could say in true. The next one could say commonic, etc. You're right. Why not just do one video for one keyword phrase? How long did that take, seriously? She didn't even have the computer switched on most of the time I was talking. Yeah. Long tail phrases is a bit of jargon for you guys. The longer words that are involved, the less competition there is, and the more chance that you've got to dominate. So I'm cheating, inverted commas, and I'm blatantly telling you that. But there are a reason for it. The reason is I don't want to be found under the words video production. These are not my buyers. I want the buyers. I want the people who have their credit card, they want to find me, they want to phone me. Does that make sense? Sure. Well, I don't even know what she did, to be honest. I don't know if she put the word Glasgow in or not. Did you? No. So the keyword isn't even in, right? So the Glasgow is not going to be found right now. We could do that. We can enhance it later. I'm trying to do this for speed, guys. And did I succeed? Yeah. Good. Thank you, Pat. Thank you. Yes, question.
Productions for small businesses. Small businesses.
We could try all sorts of things, and I will try that actually. That's why I've tried to be more specific as to what kind is his perfect customer. Yes, sir.
Just a quick question about Vimeo. I work for an organisation that has a business aspect to it, but it's not exclusively business, it's also information driven, and they use Vimeo at the moment. I'm taking it that I need to get them to set up a YouTube account.
I have lots of YouTube accounts, and we just used one of my YouTube accounts for this. YouTube channels, I should say, and I do use Vimeo as well. I use all different video channels.
The ranking is different?
It's in my experience, YouTube is spidered much faster. I mean, we proved that. It's 5 minutes we're on the first page of Google. Come on. Vimeo, it might be there in 3 days. It might be. So yeah.
It's becoming more commercial. There's now a Vimeo Pro, so they're going
Sure.
in that direction. It's now not a free service.
I know. But there are loads and loads of freebies out there for you to do as well. And even with Vimeo, you can put a limited time frame, etc. You can have a free account. Okay, so you don't need to be paying for it. And there are lots of other video upload sites, as Chris will know. In fact, that's his business. So imagine if this is a little video that we did, Catherine did, right? This little video. It's not your video. I hope you like it, because you haven't even seen it yet. But you have your own content. You have your own quality video content. Okay, so can we play it? Is it okay? Would anybody like to see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is his business is about videos. So let's just click on it and see what happens. It's going to take me to YouTube. Fantastic. Okay, I'll just stay at good. We've got some moving images. That's good. First choice in Scotland. Good. Good. Moving videos. It's not just standard images. First choice in Scotland. Call us first. We're first in Scotland. Is that you, Chris? Outstanding. Give Chris a round of applause, guys. Woo! So, we didn't cheat, did we? I mean, we wouldn't have said 5 minutes if we had cheated. So, who had a question? You had a question. Okay, so I don't know the answer to that. We don't know how. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all trying to get people to come to our websites, right? When I listened to the social media person earlier, she said we're all trying to get people to like us and follow us. But actually, that's, in my hallucination, that's not 2014. You're wasting your time. It's vanity. So, the next question is, how do we keep people on our website for a longer period of time? Now, that's not actually on his website. So he could put that on the first page of his website. You could put a video on the first page of your website, and if it's representing you, you want to have a high quality video. As it happens, that's what he's an expert at. Okay, so if anybody wants a high quality video, go and speak to Chris. Okay, so and that is a 34 seconds I thought I saw there. So you know that's a short video if you like. Statistically speaking, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris. Statistically speaking. People stay on websites for up to 2 minutes longer if they have video on it. Am I right? So it's just another element for us all to think about. If we have a website just now, what's keeping us on other people's websites and what would attract other people to stay on our websites? But in actual fact, in answer to your question, I didn't even embed that on the website. So this is on YouTube and it's on the Google searches. And hopefully, Catherine, maybe we didn't even go into that. Did you put his URL and so on into that? Okay, so if people were to look at the YouTube video, which is, I mean, actually it's going to be slightly different because I'm actually logged into YouTube, so we can look. Okay. So there we go, perfect. So you did actually, and you used the word Ayrshire in 2014 as well. So if we were to go to, type in to Google video production, small businesses, Ayrshire 2014, fantastic. Right at the top for 2,500 results. Let's see if we can take out the word Dundonald. This is much more general for Ayrshire. And there we go, we've got 73,500 results. You're right at the top. Can you see that? Can everyone see that? Yes, sir. Hold on a second. Yes, it is. So the question here is. Oh no, it's not there. It's not highlighted. It's not hyper. It is if you go to YouTube. Just click it instantly. Okay. So, yeah, obviously, what we just proved there. In fact, I think we had 12,500 results for the word Dundonald. But if we take out the word Dundonald and just use Ayrshire instead, we've got 73,500. It's much more competitive. But you're still #1. Oh yeah. So the other question was small business. Should I take out the word small business and see? I don't know the answer, so it's, I'm just as excited as anybody else for this. Let's try that. Take out the word for as well. So there's again much more generic, and we're going to find many more results. Okay, so there's 328,000 results. It's not right in the #1, but it's there, #5. Get in there. Out of 328,000 results, Chris. How happy are you? Air 5, mate. Yes. How does that sound, guys? Yes, question?
We get an advantage by having a video on our website. What happens when everybody's got a video on their website?
What happens when everybody's got it? Well, right now, you have the advantage, right? Because there are not many people know what I know. Okay? What I didn't